Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
And welcome to episode number 2 for 2021 for Home Track Heroes here on CW11. Action from Evergreen Speedway all season long. My name is Steve Mortland. Gentleman to my left is the Hall of Famer, Tom Glithero. Good to have you. A lot of fun Saturday night. Put you through some paces.
You're right. I don't do PA work normally. I did more Saturday night. I'm not sure how good it was, but we did have a lot of fun. You know, if the start of this season is any indication, they're going to have a lot of race cars out here this year because some of these classes are already in the 30 car count, and I know there's still a lot of cars out there that need to get finished up before they appear, but I think there's going to be some great racing in 2021.
And you're going to see tonight, there's a lot of cars that are getting worked on as we speak. So a lot of good action coming up tonight. We have our Interstate Battery Youth Hornets, our Buzz-In Steakhouse Stinger 8s make their debut for the new season, along with our Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8 class. The NASCAR Street Stocks are in action tonight, our Mini Bump to Pass class, and also the first of our school bus Figure 8s for 2021. It was so awesome to have another great group of people in the grandstands. It's almost back to normal.
It's starting to feel like it, isn't it?
Is.
And the racing, like I said, has been absolutely, some of it's been very, very good, but we got to get these guys to settle down just a little bit. A little too many yellow flags and some bent up equipment, and we'll talk about it a little later. But one car purchased on Friday, raced on Saturday, and I think it lasted about 5 laps, and they scrapped
on
it.
Saturday night, yeah.
Buy another one this week, as you said.
That's right. Welcome to Evergreen Speedway, everybody. First up tonight is our Interstate Battery Youth Hornets, a division that we brought on about 5 or 6 years ago, putting kids, it's kind of the natural graduation from the Washington Quarter Midget Association track, which is just out in the parking lot here at the Evergreen Speedway and Fairgrounds Complex, but a good way to get into racing with fenders on, and we'll talk more about that as it goes. Here's the lineup for you. In the number 717 is Diesel Snyder, my new favorite name here at Evergreen Speedway. Diesel brought to you by the Gearhead Garage. Outside of Diesel is the 17 car of Owen Craig, sponsored by Rick Chevron. In the back, next row back, in the 21 is Brooklyn Constance, brought to you by Joe's Racing Products. And in the 20 on the outside, second row, is Riley Rudell.
In the third row, it's the 46 of Cody Cooey. Outside of Cody will be Scarlett Fisher in the 19 car. In the fourth row, it's the 18 of Paisley Bender. And outside of Paisley will be the 45 of Chevy Vincent. He's in the Beecher Motorsports car. Chevy Vincent may be your second favorite name in this one. And rounding out the field in the fifth row, it's the number 6 of Dylan DeAndra, and sponsored by Mom and Dad.
As it should be. So that's it. We are just getting out of turn number 4. These, ladies and gentlemen, will be on our 5th mile flat track, one of about 18 different race courses we have here at Evergreen Speedway. And right off the get-go, it's the 717 car in the second spot, Diesel Snyder, but up front, running away with it early on, is Owen Craig in the 17. We get one lap through, and this is such a fun class to watch because you'll see the level of, I don't want to say experience because people don't have experience in this class, but talent level is right there.
Well, you're right. And as I was walking through the pits, there was a young man sitting in a car. And I looked at his dad and I said, "How old?" And he said, 12. And I said, "Oh man, what I would have given to be in a race car at age 12. Now you think about it, they don't even have learner's permits for the road, and they're out here racing, and they're going to get nothing but better. And I'll tell you what, some of them are pretty darn good right now.
The proof is how this class works. Last season and a couple seasons before, we had a young man that was starting off in this type of racing named Dario Reddick. He ran a couple seasons in the Youth Hornet division. He did the natural progression, and props to his parents for doing that. Kept moving him up when he got comfortable, and now he's running in our Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Model division and has done outstanding, I think. But this is what makes this class so cool. Here we are now. We're 5 laps into it with Cody Cooley in the number 46 car in the first spot. Another part that you brought up really well on Saturday night was the fact that there's names that we are so familiar with, and you can see them as they're kind of scrolling up on top and then on the second row down too, with Constance, with Bender, with Cooey, and Riddell. A lot of familiar names that have been out here for years and years.
Their family, their second, third generation racers. And I think the thing to look at here is how smooth some of these kids are as they drive these cars, slide them down through there. I saw an incident yesterday on the road that Grandma couldn't do what these kids are doing right now and stuff. And they've got the understanding. I mean, they also, because it's still difficult to drive a race car because you're watching the gauges, you're watching your competitors. You got to look at the flagman as you go by, and then you got to make sure the car's going in the direction that you want it to go. So a lot on their plate, a lot of things for them to learn. And a lot of these are manual transmission, stick shift, and that's an art that is going away quickly.
Yeah, no kidding. I was just thinking about that while you were talking about it. And on top of all that, someone's got to teach them how to drive a vehicle with a clutch. And I remember my first time in a vehicle with a clutch, and it was not pretty at all. But
I remember standing in my driveway listening to my daughter, chirp that clutch and rear tires all the way around the block. And I thought, it'll never be the same again.
There's a good shot of the number 19 car driven by Scarlett Fisher. Looking to take a move on the inside there as we have got 19 laps to go. And we will get an in-car look here with Cody Cooey.
You can see Cody, the seat that he has to protect him, that wraps around and keeps his head from bouncing around too much. You can see him kind of working that wheel. It's not an easy deal that he's doing. It's not like he points it and then takes it down the corner and turns a little bit. He's constantly working that wheel, making those corrections to that car as it goes, and he's out front doing a very, very nice job. You can look around that car. You can see the roll cage to the right side and above his head, those bars to the right to make sure that nothing comes through that door and actually gets to him. And you can also, as I said, you can see the roll cage overhead.
The thing I like about what we're seeing right there, on that steering wheel, there is no cruise control switches. There is no radio volume switches. And it's just nothing but basic stuff.
And you know what? A neat pair of racing gloves.
Yes. How important is that?
If you can't afford gloves, you shouldn't go racing. And props to Cody and his family to make sure that he's properly outfitted and he's as safe as he can be.
Yeah, it's got the containment seat and everything that you need to be safe in these things. We have still got a race going on with 15 laps to go. Cody Cooey in that number 1 spot. Then we go back to the number 20 of Ryder Liddell. And in third spot, Owen Craig in the number 17. I did have a chance to talk to Joe Constance as they were lined up earlier in the day to go out and I think do some qualifying or heat racing. And his daughter Brooklyn was in the car. And by nature, the Constance girls are really small and really tiny.
Yep.
And she is so far. And a lot of these drivers like to have that steering wheel right up against their face. And it was amazing how she got in that thing. Cool story on that number 45 car that's driven by Chevy Vincent and brought to you by Beecher Motorsports. You're going to see later on tonight when our NASCAR street stocks, well, you may not because the night didn't quite go well for Nick Beecher in our street stock division, but he's the owner of that car. He put that car together to run for a couple of seasons in the Hornet division in the past couple of years. And then decided he kind of wanted to get into a mentoring role, and he did a search and picked out young Chevy Vincent to get in there. And boy, I tell you, this kid is borderline a natural in this car. Really super comfortable. You can see a great battle between Owen Craig in the 17 and Chevy Vincent in the 45. I really like the line that Chevy's taken in this thing.
Well, and I don't know the actual relationship here, but that 17 car Owen Craig is sponsored by Rick Chevron. That is Rick Hubbard, who was a big-time racer in his day. And later on in the program, we're going to see a raft. Hubbard, and Hubbard. And this is not a law firm. So I'm guessing that maybe there's a family tie there to the 17 car of Owen Craig also.
It's been a real clean race so far. We've just got 8 laps to go out of 30. For our main event for the Interstate Battery Youth Hornets, the Interstate Battery back with this division and our regular Hornet division for, man, we might be up into the double digits as far as years that Interstate Battery and all battery sales and service has been behind this group. And we sure are so happy that they are with us as well. In 2021, as the laps are winding down, Cody Cooey just not necessarily running away with this thing, but just doing everything as well as he can possibly do it to stay in the lead.
Steve, there's a great shot of the asphalt area in front of the grandstands, and you can see chairs lined up there. It's one more way that the Hobbs family and their staff have allowed them to put people in here, but do it in a safe way. They're distance out. You can see they're using facilities. They brought in some temporary grandstands down to the north end, so there's additional seating, and you can still do it safely and comfortably.
Yeah, it's just an absolutely Herculean effort put on by everybody with High Road Promotions. Well done by all parties involved. You can kind of get a bit of a shot of the people up in the grandstands, and like Tom mentioned, down on the tarmac. Really well done getting things spread out and doing the best we can, because we want to keep this joint open, and everything we can do to make sure that happens, we're going to be doing it. All right, we're going to get down to the wire here, my friends. 2 laps to go. Cody Cooey's still in this one at the top in the number 46. Riley Riddell running a great race in that number 20 car. In the second spot, Chevy Vincent making his way through the field. White flag, 1 to go.
You bet. And here we come. They're just going to finish this thing out. They've done a great job of racing without contact with each other.
All right, here they come out of the turn. The win is going to go to the young Cody Cooey in the 46. We will bring our top 3 up. I got to meet some new friends here at the winner's platform.
I tell you, that was a clinic you put on up there. That was impressive.
Yeah, got the car set up pretty good. John helped us with that.
And when you say set up, what did you do that made it so special?
Not much. I set it up for how I like it, and turns good.
All right, who do you need to thank real quick?
I want to thank JBR Racing, Machias Materials, and Dog JBR Racing.
Riley, congratulations. What place did you get?
Second place. I got second place.
All right, cool. Good to be back out. Look at this crowd. Fun to race in front of them, huh?
Yeah, it's really great that fans are back. It's just cool new. It's great. Yeah.
And who do you need to thank tonight?
I gotta thank DL, Half Crop Guns, my dad, John Bender, JBR Racing, Cox Wheels Racing, and Joe's. You guys have helped out.
Good to be back up here. And you haven't been doing this very long, have you?
No, this is my first race actually.
How about that, fans? First race out. That's awesome. And I can kind of get an idea that this whole experience is just, it's not overwhelming yet, is it?
No.
Who do you need to thank who are getting up here tonight, buddy?
I want to thank my car owner, Nick. I want to thank my mom, my dad, and my sister and brother. And